Hello, I hope you are well and I hope you have had so far a wonderful week. This week I thought I would share with you some of the reasons why I think shopping secondhand for our clothes is such a great idea. After 2014, when I did a whole year of not buying any new clothes, I learned so much about what it takes to build a wardrobe from different secondhand sources, how to shop, what kind of things to look for, where to go. But I also learned about why it was so good and all the benefits of shopping in this way. So I wanted to share that with you today, along with a few examples from my wardrobe. Now, when I did my year of not buying any new clothes, the first thing that I think was such a benefit to me was the amount of money that I saved. A good example, let me show you, is this. So this is a James Pringle cashmere polo neck jumper in a colour I love, and had I bought that new, I'm guessing, upwards of £90 probably for a cashmere jumper. I paid £1 for this in a charity shop. So the savings, what I added up over the year, probably are the high hundreds, maybe even the low thousands. When you add up what you would have spent if you'd bought those items new. So that's the first one, and the financial savings definitely have been big. The next one, the next reason I love charity shopping is because it feels like treasure hunting. So when you go into a charity shop, there's only one of something. So it feels very different than being on the high street and there's a whole rack of the same thing. And everything I buy from charity shops, I really remember where I was and who I was with. And the great example of that one is this Chinese silk jacket, and I had a lovely day out with my sister in charity shopping in Devizes, great place to go, and found this in one of the charity shops there for £7.99, and every time I put it on it just reminds me of that day I had out with her and finding this and being all excited about finding it. And it does feel like real treasure. I really enjoy looking at it, stroking it, as you can probably tell, and wearing it. So yeah, things feel really special, I think, when you've hunted for them and you've got the prize. So that's a good one. The next one might sound a bit strange, but when you go charity shopping, there is less of a fashion dictation. And it might sound strange, but it actually is a huge benefit, because if you are like me and you're someone who loves autumn colouring, that's fine until we hit spring and summer, and then there's very little of the things that are the colours I love available on the high street, because what's in the high street is the fashion, and fashion follows in terms of colour but also in terms of styles. A lot of my clients particularly love to wear bootleg trousers, and there aren't so many of those styles around. There's much more of a straight leg fashion at the moment. So by going to charity shops and second-hand shops, you're much more likely to find the colours that you love, the styles and the shapes that you love, if they're not particularly, in fashion on the high street right now. So a good example of that is this skirt, which is another thing I absolutely love. Right, I don't know how well you can see that. I'll shut that door. So this skirt came from the Clothing Warehouse, which is another one of my favourite places to go. It's really dark, sludgy colours, which I happen to love. I know they're not everybody's cup of tea, but I fell in love with the print and the colours. And it was around the spring time that I found this, when the high street was full of bright, light colours that don't work so well for me. So I paid about £8 for this. It's Italian, it's silk, it's gorgeous, but it was the colours that drew me, and it was colours that I couldn't find on the high street at that particular time. So to me, that was a great benefit. If you haven't been charity shopping around the charity shops in a while, you might have a distant memory of going a long time ago. And I think charity shop retailing, the actual space, has changed so much, particularly in recent years. So that image of a sort of smelly old junk shop is long gone by and large. And now you walk into a charity shop and it can feel like high-end, you're browsing a high-end boutique. You check out Oxfam at the top end of Bath and you'll see exactly what I mean. So the atmosphere and the shopping experience has changed, but also I think the quality of what you can find just keeps going up and up and up. Let me give you another example. So this is something I bought, that again it was in Devizes. I was out with my sister, and this is a Boden sort of 3/4 length part linen coat in a sort of turquoisey colour. Now I paid £12 maybe for this, but when I picked it up off the rail it looked like I had just had it delivered from Boden. It was absolutely immaculate. There is not a single mark on it. It looked like it had never been worn, and more I find that now in charity shops. I'm picking up things with the labels on, or I'm picking up things that look like they've not been worn at all. So the quality of what you can find, I think, is another big benefit, because half the time it just feels like you're picking up brand new things. And the last benefit I want to share with you today with my examples is that by buying second hand, your wardrobe ends up starting to feel much more individual. I remember going to my sister's wedding a few years back now, and I was in a dress that someone else was also wearing, and although it was still a lovely, gorgeous day, her wedding, you know, when you turn up at an event and you're wearing something someone else is wearing, you just can't help thinking, oh, I wish I hadn't done that. So I find that by mixing things up from charity shops and secondhand shops, then I feel like I'm building something that's much more unique, and I hope I'm much less likely to bump into someone wearing the same thing as me. The last wedding I went to in the summer, I wore this dark teal two-piece, it's Karen Cole, and I paid about £8 for it in the Naomi Hospice shop in Newbury. And I love this, but I also felt really confident that there probably wouldn't be anybody else in the same thing as me, and there definitely wasn't. So those are my main reasons for loving charity shopping and second-hand shopping. If you haven't tried it in a while, get out there, give it a go, see what's about. You may just find some treasure, and enjoy. I hope you find some treasure, and if you do, share it with me on Facebook. I would love to see what you're finding. Take care. Bye.